And it looks like whoever's doing it just went to a Flower of Life class or something. And and they're almost always discovered by sacred sites, usually in conjunction with a sacred site somewhere in the world. And at any rate, I would really like to go into this more, into what all of this is, but I suggest that you study this very carefully. There are somewhere around 10,000 crop circles now have occurred, and they are not just in England, they're all over the world. They're on little tiny islands out in the middle of nowhere. The United States gets a little over 200 crop circles a year, though our government erases them as fast as possible and doesn't want you to know about it, but they're here. I've seen crop circles in Holland. One year they had 136 there last year, and one of them was done in crusted snow, and it was an incredible complex of circles, of concentric rings and circles. Some of the circles were only 3/4 of an inch wide, half an inch wide, and they were 300 or 400 feet across with absolute perfection. And I can say one thing for sure: whoever did that crop circle or snow circle did not walk on the earth. They had to hover. For sure. And they found a crop circle in Canada where it was done with trees, where the trees made a 45-degree angle and laid down on the ground. So I know nobody went around stamping those trees down. I suggest you investigate this more carefully, of what this is and what it really means. I do have a video out called The Story of England, which goes into this in great detail of what we believe is really going on and who it is and how they're doing this. And one last little thing, there's a video out of these two spheres of light that go around and forms a crop circle in a matter of seconds. How many have seen that video? It's not real. It's a fake. And unfortunately it is. But that is the idea that many people have seen these spheres of light come in and the crop circles form in a matter of just absolute seconds, 5-6 seconds, it's there. But the crop circle was formed by computer images, and they made one mistake. They gave a whole story of when it happened, and the sun angle was not aligned up with that time that they said it happened by 5 hours, and so they lied. And unfortunately, there's a lot of lying going on around this kind of stuff, but there's also a lot of truth hidden in it. And so I recommend that you check it out and find out what it really means. That's been going on for 27 years. It is not getting slowing down whatsoever, and in fact, it's becoming more intense and more complex. And they have investigated these things with mathematically. This one's very interesting, of 13 circles forming the tube torus, which is one of the patterns used in the Flower of Life also. But when they've taken these crop circles and they've very carefully analyzed them, this was a crop circle, they have come up with very complex mathematical information that is making it very clear that whoever is doing this is brilliant. In fact, this one here really rocked the world. This is a drawing of one, this very complex one. There's a bend in this line here that precisely and mathematically delineates that this is speaking about hyperdimensional space. And we are just barely able to understand the mathematics of what they're talking about, whoever it is. Maybe it's Doug and Dave, but those guys are really brilliant. Because can you imagine making a crop circle like this in the dark, overnight, with two people? It's about 500 feet across with this kind of precision, and to have this kind of knowledge in there? I don't think so. And I'm just stating, look at this more carefully and find out what it is and what they're talking about and why are they doing it, whoever it is. And if you want to see the story of England, I'll give you my impression of who I think it is. Now I'm going to talk about the third phenomena that's occurring, and this one is relatively new. It's only been out for 5 years or so. And probably by now most of you have heard about this one. And there's a raging controversy over this, whether it's true or not true. And I'm going to just give you my 2 cents on all of this, of what if it's true or not true. But if it is true, it is a further indication that there is something going on this world of a level that no one has ever seen before. There's a book called The Bible Code, written by Michael Dresden. How many people have heard of this? That was about a third. That's a higher level. I've been checking audiences, and it was about 10%, now 15, 20. It's going up. It's on the New York bestseller list. What are they talking about? They've discovered a long time ago in the Torah, which is the first 5 books of the Bible. Let me put it another way. In the Torah, in 6 different places, it's written that there's a secret book hidden inside the Bible. And that book would not be opened up until the end of time. It states it 6 times. And about 50 years ago, there was a rabbi in Israel, or I don't know if he was in Israel. I don't know if was Israel even there 50 years ago? Somewhere. Who was studying the Torah and discovered that if you took every 50th letter starting from the first letter of the Torah, in each of the 5 books, that something happened. In the first 2 books of the Torah, Genesis and the next one, I don't remember the names of them all, it wrote the word Torah. If you took every 50th letter. And then if you went through book 4 and 5, it did the same thing, only it wrote the word Torah backwards. And then if you took the middle book in the center, so you have a reflection toward the center, it wrote the word, the name of God. And that person believed that there was a code in the Bible that based on the spacing of letters. And he tried and tried and tried, but it was way too complex because we had to wait until there were computers. And then there was a man named Dr. Eli Rips at the Hebrew University who decided, well, this is a very simple program, let's just do it. And they made the software program, plugged it in, and started putting words in there to see if there was any kind of truth to any of this. And it became amazing, actually. One of the things they did at one point, and it depends if you talk to this book, Michael Dresden, or the newer one that just came out called Cracking the Bible Code by Jeffrey Satinover, one of the things they did is they put the names of rabbis into the Bible code to see if they were written in there. And Michael said it was 30-something, but this person who was closer to it all said it was more like 60. So they put somewhere between 30 and 60 people's names, and they knew everything about these rabbis because they were dead. They knew when they were born, what they did in their lives and everything, and they plugged their names in, which completely rearranges the Bible, the 300,000 plus letters of the Torah, into a new matrix, which is kind of the way, I'm going to go back to this other one. Down here you can see all the letters, I don't know if you can see it, but they're in rows. And it forms names kind of like in a crossword puzzle that run across like this or at diagonals. And he put their names in there, and bang, there were their names exactly as they were spelled. And off to the left was the exact day they were born and the exact place they were born. And on the other side was the exact day they died and the exact place they died. And it was true of all 60 of them. They now can't find a single person in the world that's not in the Bible, which is including you. Your name's written in there, when you were born and when you will die. And everything about your life. It's all written in there. It's all determined. And not just people, but everything. And even things that are not on the surface of the earth. Like the comets that went in and hit Jupiter a few years ago. All that was written in the Bible and recorded in there. And it goes on and on and on. Now, obviously, this is a big deal if it's true. I mean, it means that this future is already written into the Bible. And then the big question over what does free will mean? And if it's already there, then what the heck? Let's go have a party. What does that mean? And so big questions started emerging. Well, first of all, the mathematicians of the world said, no way. This can't be true. This has just got to be BS. And so Yale and Harvard said